In this video, I'm going to show you how I used OpenClaw to create a plugin for itself that integrates with StartInfinity. I'm going to show you why I did it, what the plugin can do inside of StartInfinity, and the problems that I had while creating it, and then the prompt that you can use if you want to recreate it yourself. So the main problem that I was solving by trying to create an integration with OpenClaw and StartInfinity is that the agents I was using inside of OpenClaw, they didn't have the full context of the tasks I was doing, the projects I had running, and it didn't seem to be working very well because context is what matters most when using the agents inside of OpenClaw. So I have my workspace for my OpenClaw agent inside of Obsidian, and it was enough at the start, but the Markdown files, they ended up getting a little bit confusing because if you are running and keeping track of all of your projects inside of Markdown files and all the tasks, just as a person, it's just not easy to keep track of. And also when the projects and tasks live inside a workspace, inside of your agent, if you create another agent inside of OpenClaw, it has its own workspace, as you can see from the docs here. An agent is fully scoped with its own workspace, state directory, session store. So each agent has its own workspace, therefore it can't really read the projects and tasks that I've been building with that agent. And yeah, it just wasn't an optimal solution. So then I tried to use Google Tasks, and that was a little bit better because OpenClaw has the GOG CLI integration, which basically makes it really easy for OpenClaw to control anything that you use inside of the Google Workspace. So the integration worked really well, and OpenClaw could create tasks, read them, and do all that type of thing really well. But just for me, it just didn't fit my working style. I didn't have enough context around the things I was working on. It was just a few lists of tasks, and I wanted a more robust solution just for myself, even though OpenClaw used it really well. So what I did is that I went back to the tool that I like using, which is StartInfinity. And actually I got this LTD back in 2019 inside of the MarTech group. That's when people would send these t-shirts. So actually they sent me this t-shirt back all the way back then. Back in 2019 when SaaS companies would send t-shirts to get the word out, but my son can read now, so I can't wear it anymore. And I'm actually surprised that my wife hasn't thrown it out. But anyway, StartInfinity is the project management system that I originally liked using, and then I remembered that they have API documentation here. So it's quite extensive, the API documentation. So I figured I would just tell OpenClaw to build the integration for me and see what would happen. So the main problem I was trying to solve is that I wanted something that was easy for me to use and easy for me to keep track of just the context of my projects and tasks myself, and then something that's easy for OpenClaw to see, and also that multiple agents can get context from one source. In order for you to see what OpenClaw can do with the integration that I built, I'll go ahead and show you my StartInfinity boards. So here's my boards. These are some old boards I haven't been using, and here's my LTD board. It's not up to date. I need to update it. Anyway, it just lists a bunch of LTDs I've bought over the years, dating back to maybe like 2018. So this is the board that we'll go ahead and take a look at. So if I go over to OpenClaw, and let me just ask it something. What boards do you see inside of the personal workspace in StartInfinity? So it has the tool calls right up here. All right, so it was able to bring back the boards from my personal workspace, and yep, there it is. So let's try something else. On the LTD board, what is the most expensive item, and when was it purchased? Okay, so the most expensive one was Ring Tonic, purchased November 29th. So let's go over here, take a look. Where is that? November 29. Yep, there it is. That's the most expensive one. All right, so as you can see, the integration is working pretty well. Let's try one more thing. On the LTD board, I want you to create one new item. I bought in Privy about 4 days ago from AppSumo for $39. And inside of the notes, right, I used a $25 credit. I can't remember if that's the real price, but I did. My credit was about to expire, so I just hurried up and used it. I probably should have bought something else. Okay, so it says it added the item. Let's go ahead and take a look. It says privy, not in privy. From AppSumo, $39, March 29th, and used the $25 credit. So as you can see, the integration is working pretty well. So let's go ahead and see how that's done. Now I'm going to tell you how I tried to create the integration and what problems I ran into while making it. So I first just told OpenClaw to create the integration using the API documentation from StartInfinity, and I essentially just told it that I wanted to be able to read the boards and the items on it, that type of thing. And what it started doing is it made a local MCP server on my computer, and then OpenClaw would use that MCP server along with the API integration to just read stuff in StartInfinity. And the computer was able to read the items on StartInfinity, but the agent itself was not able to. So it basically told me the MCP integration route was not correct and it wasn't going to work long term. So it told me to create a native plugin inside of OpenClaw. So that's the way that we ended up going. After I was done making the integration for myself, I told OpenClaw to create this document so I could pass it off to anyone else that wanted to create the same integration. So I'm not going to show you how to build it live, because when you use OpenClaw to build an integration like this, it is probabilistic, not deterministic. That means everyone's going to have a different result. Those are the buzzwords that people are using these days. So your setup is different than mine, and you're going to run into different snags than I did. So this is the document, and you're going to end up with an OpenClaw plugin, native plugin for StartInfinity. And basically, you need to get your Infinity token inside your account, and then you'll be able to read workspaces, boards, folders, attributes, items, and you'll be able to create, update, and archive items. Now, there's a lot more you can do with the integration if you wanted to. So if you went over to the API documentation, there's a lot more permissions that you could give the integration if you wanted to. It's up to you how much you want to give, how many permissions you want to give to OpenClaw, because you don't want it to end up deleting all your boards. So yeah, you just got to be careful with that. That's up to you. So in order to get the token, what you're going to need to do is go over to StartInfinity, and you'll click your profile picture here. You go to My Profile, which is here, and then at the bottom of the profile, you will enable developer features and enable API Dev Helper. And once you do that, you're going to have this menu item appear on the left, Developer. Then you go to Tokens, and then you're going to create a new token. And you'll only see this token once. So if you want, you can go ahead and save it somewhere that you like. Now, it's going to say, this document says to put the token in the right place, which is here. Actually, that's not the way I did it. This is probably the way you should do it. But what I did is I just made a text file on my desktop, and then I told OpenClaw to take it from there and then put it in a place that is not that doesn't expose it, like inside of a chat session. So I didn't paste it inside of the chat session, so it's not inside of the logs in the chat session. So that's up to you. And then it's going to create these files. So it's you don't need to really worry about that. But here's the prompt that you're going to be using. So here's the prompt that you'll give to OpenClaw right here. So here it tells you the initial tools it's going to expose. So again, if you want it to have more permissions, you could probably just put in plain English what you want it to be able to do, and it will take care of it. One thing I did notice while running this is that it did have problems finding the token and using the token at the proper time. So you may run into a snag where you have to keep telling it to, move the token to this place or move it here, and then use it at this time, etc. So that's one of the things that I ran into as well. And then, you can go through the verification. Basically, you're just going to try to see if it works. And there's more prompts to verify it if you'd like. So then here's the common mistakes that it should avoid after I've done it. So yeah, this prompt will be available on thomasfellows.com if you want to go ahead and use it. Hopefully that's helpful for you, and you can go ahead and create that integration for yourself between StartInfinity and OpenClaw. If you want more content like this, please hit subscribe. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.